Alright, so this is going to be a walkthrough, a complete walkthrough of how to get a sub 18 in Slender the Arrival. So this is going to be going over like basic strats, basic settings, and all of that kind of stuff that you're going to want to be able to get a sub 18 in Slender. So I'm not going to be doing the craziest strats. I'm going to release a separate guide that's going to have that's going to be other strats, like the more advanced strats. There'll still be plenty of skips in here because this will be for any percent easy glitches, with glitches. So we're just gonna basically start the game, and I'm just gonna go through everything that I do, and show you how you can get that time. So here we start. Obviously, you have the cutscene. You just press any key. And when you're doing splits, that'll be right when the time starts, is when you press that key at the very beginning, like that. So you'll start your splits and your key press at the same time. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to turn down my sensitivity to low. I used to have it on medium here, but I've been playing games that have a lot lower sensitivity, so I think I'm just going to turn it to low. I'm just coming back to running this game, by the way. So this is going to be my intro to coming back to playing this game more. So you start here, of course, and the first thing to consider in this game is your stamina bar. So it's not something you can see, but it's something that you can, it feels, and it's kind of an important thing. It's how long you can sprint for before you start sprinting at a slower speed. So you can always sprint. There'll just be a slow sprint that you'll get that is much, much, much slower, and the faster way to move in the game is to sprint until you lose out on that fast sprint, and then walk for a specific amount of time. Depends on the place where you're at for how long you're going to walk, and then sprinting again. So that's how we're going to start here. Is we're going to start by turning and sprinting into this log. And you can kind of clip to the right of it so you can get faster on this line. And you're just going to go to the left of this fence, straight ahead. I might be going through some things that you might know. You probably know plenty of this. This is just going to be in-depth about everything that you do from start to finish. So if there's certain sections that you want to look at more specifically, I'll put time codes for that in the description. And then you're going to sprint towards this fence, and then you're going to move to like the right of that rock you can kind of see in the distance. So just kind of move to the right of that. You can move through a lot of these trees. They don't have hitboxes. And then your sprinting is going to run out right after this tree here, and then this bend there. So that's where your sprint is going to run out, and you just stop, and then you just start walking. And you're going to aim for the left side of that wooden fence and the right side of that stone fence, right in that little gap you can see. And then this is going to be that first spot. So you're walking all the way up to this spot. Then you're going to get into this corner. This is going to be the first skip in the game. So this is a ladder, which allows you to get over the barrier and get out of bounds on this first level. So the way you're going to do that is you're going to get into this corner. So what I like to do is just cheat a little bit to the left so that as I'm walking forward, it'll push me as deep into the corner as possible. So now I'm in this corner, and now when you move to the left while you're in this corner and you're facing towards the stone gate here, it's going to move you up. Now, but if you go all the way to the left, you're just going to go off to the side. So the goal here is to go left and then get deeper into the corner, and then keep doing that so you stay in the corner. And then eventually you're going to clear a spot where you're going to be above the barrier. So that spot is right about... Right, that's a little high. It's like here, if I tried to move forward, I still can't get over the fence here. You see I'm holding W. I can't get over the fence, so I have to go up a little higher. There, still can't get over the fence here. Little higher, still can't get over the fence. And one more bit, and now I'm going to be able to be over the fence. Oh, so this is still not. So just a little higher. there, and now I can get over the fence. And now if I kept holding W, I'd go over the fence. So as you can see there, you can do this backwards as well. Not that you'd ever need to, but I'm just going to do it to get back to show you and just give you the specific inputs. This is a pretty easy one. It's pretty forgiving. It's actually worse on this side, at least for me. There we go. So the specific inputs is you're just going to hold W, and then you're going to turn to the left with your mouse, and you're going to go A, W, A, W, A, W. And you can do pretty long strokes, like hold down W and then tap, or hold down A and then tap W, because you don't need to go too far forward. But then eventually you're just going to be able to feel out where this barrier is. There's no really specific visual cue that I use as to where this barrier stops. I just kind of feel it, so you can kind of push into it. So now I see I've cleared it here. So that's the first skip, is just getting over that barrier here. Then you're going to walk forward. And then typically what's going to happen is right after you land on the ground here, you're going to start sprinting again. So since I gave myself a lot more time because I was showing you the skip, I'm going to have full sprint here. In reality, you're only going to have about half of your stamina bar when you start sprinting again here. So I'll show you where you will stop sprinting. But you're going to then keep running forward over to this hill. So basically the goal in this level is just to get to the end. There's no other checkpoints you have to hit or anything. You just have to get to the end of the level. So we're going to come to the top of this hill here. And then right as you get here, you're going to do the second skip of this to get back in bounds, because right now you're still out of bounds. And there's a big barrier on the other side of this river here. That's kind of where the hill is, and then where that first tree. It's a little bit before that. And that's where the barrier that you need to clear is. So there's a way in this game that you can, while sprinting, or not sprinting, but typically you need to be sprinting to cover ground, you can actually kind of float through the air, and it's by using pause buffering. So what we've done and what you can do in the game is right when you open up the game, you're going to have this little window that allows you to bind your pause to different keys. And I really recommend binding it to a couple of keys over on your numpad. So I have it on enter, the enter key, and 3, so it's really close to my mouse. That way I can pause buffer while still making micro adjustments right before I start pause buffering. Once you're in the air, you're not going to be touching your mouse anymore. You're just going to be floating in one direction. So I'll kind of show you what it looks like here. So you're going to get right up, and you're going to put your first pause right as you would start to fall down off this hill, is where you're going to start your pausing. So you're going to come here, and the motion you're going to do is this. Can you you probably hear it through my mic. And you can kind of listen to how I'm hitting the two keys. I'm hitting them in rapid succession and then putting a little pause in between. So I'm going to get back to the start of the level just to show that again. But that is the motion you're going for, and you can actually put a lot more space in between your pauses than I did there. And it's actually faster to do so. So when you're starting out, don't feel like you need to put the right amount of space, because if you lose too much height, then you're not going to clear the barrier. And then if you can't clear that barrier, then you just have to reset, because then you're just soft locked outside of the map in the river. You're stuck in the river then. But I'm just going to get back over there to show you again. Okay, so we're coming up on the skip again here. I'm just going to do it quick the right way here. Putting in long strokes, and then once you feel like you've cleared, you go over. And then I would start sprinting right here again. I'm going to give myself just a couple seconds just so I make sure I have the right amount of sprint, because my sprinting was kind of fucked up before. Okay, so now you'll run. Normally you won't do that pause. You'll just start sprinting right when you hit the ground. So you get to the top here, and this is kind of how much space you should put in between them to be fastest. And there, I just barely cleared the barrier there. So then you would clear the barrier, and then your sprinting would run out right about here. It could be right about here, depending on how good you did on the fence skip. But it's going to be somewhere in this area that your sprinting is going to run out. So now, depending on where that ran out, it's going to change when you start sprinting again. But that's more nuanced stuff we're not going to worry about. We're just going to say walk here until you get to the other side of this river. So you're going to hug the river. And then just right on this turn here, right after you turn, just sprint again. Just like that. And that's fine. That's going to give you enough sprint to get to the end of the level. So now you're just going to hug the river all the way up. You can actually go to the right of this tree if you go straight forward and then just tap the right key, tap the D key. Right when you get to the tree, you can just zip right around it. Then you're going to go in. And then right here, you're going to turn. And right after you turn, you can actually grab this page right away. You can actually even grab it through the door here. But that page, once you grab it, that's what's triggering the end of the level, is to grab that page. So you want to get that as fast as possible. But you don't want to be sprinting towards it, because it's actually going to make it harder to grab the page if you're sprinting. So the level you're going to want to be at here, if I can get it right, is going to be like straight across. So like not looking down, not looking up, just looking straight across. And if you do that, then you can kind of find right there. So it's just like slightly below straight across is where you're going to go to get the page. And then once you get the page, you just instantly click again, and then you just spam any key. And it's going to trigger the end of the level. And it's going to skip the little cutscene. So then that's prologue. So that's all of prologue. That's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about going into the house or any of that bullshit. You just do those 2 skips, and it's a really quick level. So now an even quicker level. Here's 8 pages. So 8 pages has a bit of nuance. So there's 4 different spawn points that you can spawn in. It's RNG based on, whatever that wherever you're going to spawn in. It's going to be one of the 4 spawn points, and then there's going to be a number of monuments scattered around the map. If you've played this game before, I'm sure you know that. And there's going to be pages on the monuments. You need to get 4 out of 8, and then you need to die. So that's going to be our goal here, is just to get 4 pages and then die as fast as possible. Because that'll get us to the next level. 3, and it would just send us back to the start of the level. 5, and we would still go, but we don't need 5. We only need 4. So 4 pages. So you're always going to start in this little building that you just ended in, and you're going to leave, and then you're going to figure out right as you get out which one of the 4 you're in. So right here, I'm at the top of the field. So I know that there's going to be a page or a possible page at a monument right out in the field there. You see that monument there? That monument might not be there, or the monument might be there, but there might not be a page on it. That's what we would call a dud. We don't want any duds. Okay, now right after that, you're going to turn left, see another monument. Boom, boom, boom. So this is going to be for this spawn point. I'll show you it for all of them. We got a dud there. That's unfortunate. So now we're just going to keep walking on this path, and we're going to see, oh, we got the building. Typically at this point, if you got the building and a dud, you're going to be resetting. But you don't have to worry about that. You don't need to reset at all. Whenever your fast sprinting stops, you're going to just walk for a while. Especially if you haven't already gotten 4 pages by that time, or close to getting 4 pages. If you're close to getting 4 pages by the time your sprinting stops, you can just slow sprint. Because then it's going to be faster to just slow sprint. But in this situation, it's going to be faster to walk for a while. Maybe somewhere between 20-30 seconds. Max that you're going to ever want to be walking at one time is like 36. That's going to fill up your stamina bar all of the way. And you could just kind of look at your timer if you have it on your screen to get that kind of timing down. But don't be super stressed in this level about being perfect, because there's going to be a lot of variation in how long you're going to need to sprint. So you can play around with it a little bit. And then once you get 4 pages, you're just going to look for Slender. Oh, when your screen like pops like that, you know you're looking and going in the right direction. And there he is. We're just going to run right at him. And then once he gets us, there's going to be a little cutscene where we're just going to want to try to find him and run at him. It'll kill you faster. Just find him and run at him. Find him and run at him. Boom. And then time's going to end for that split right when the text comes up. So then that's all of 8 pages. So now I'm going to go back and show you the other 3 spawn points for 8 pages and how you're going to do those. Alright, so this next spawn point, this is one of the ones that you will get when you're at the top of the hill. So there's one here at the top of the hill, and then one to the left of it on the top of this hill. But for this, you're always just going to be running through these gates. So for this spawn point, your goal is to hug the left gate here. Now, if you get this, this is called gray shit. Okay, so you're going to get gray shit in 8 pages and in Into the Abyss. So it's just this kind of noise that slows you down for a completely random amount of time. Now, the way that you get rid of it faster, though, and to give yourself a little bit of a speed boost through it, is actually to pause buffer. So what we're going to do here is run, and then just pause buffer when it's popping. And you can see we move a little bit faster when we do that. It also, I think, allows it to go away faster. The gray shit. But regardless of if it does that or not, because it's kind of RNG how long it's going to go anyway, so we're not really sure if it makes it go away faster. But we do know that it gives you a bit of a speed boost as you're going through it, so it's good to do that. But it's RNG. You might not get it at all. Like you saw in the last one, I didn't get it. This one I did get it. So that's the first spot you're going to go to, is right to the left, and then you're going to turn completely around and follow this path kind of on the upper side of it. And then you're going to grab this page, and then you're just going to keep walking forward. I'll also put in the description the link to the Discord where you can find other resources, such as a map of this level, which can help you in locating the spawn points of the pages. But here we're back in that field again, and you can see a page on that water tower, and then you also see that tent there, which might have a page on the back end of it. We don't know. We hope it does. So I'm going to grab that page. We see Slender. We don't really want him yet. What you can do, you can kind of like cheat towards him and then get some fast sprint away from him. I'm not very good at that. Mr. Wolfie, Kane, he is a lot better at that, and he gets crazy speed. I don't really know how he does it that well. You should watch some of his record videos to kind of see that. And you saw on the tent we didn't get a page, so that's a dud. So now we come and check this middle area again. And this time, instead of the building, it's these boxes. Can be 3 different things in this middle area. The boxes is much better than the building. We actually want to go and find the page in the boxes, because there's only a few spawn points where it can actually be. We got the 4th, and then we just try to die to Slender. We've seen it all before. I'm not even going to look for him, because we know what we're doing. We're just dying to Slender then. We're just looking for him to die. Alright, let's see if we get another different one. We did. Okay, so this is the other one on top of the hill. So for this one, you're going to go to the right of the building here and just kind of slide underneath here. It's just a slight bit faster than going to the left of the building. Then you're going to come over to the right side of the fence here and just dip right to the right. You can go through these trees. You can go through these 2 trees if you do a little jig, which means just tapping the D key as you move through. It's not really a term, I just kind of said it was. And then it's the same as the other spawn point from here on out. You just walk forward, you find that one, you go into the field, you find that one, and then the one outside of the field. If there's still not 4, you run to that middle section, and then you can kind of go around to those other spawn points if you need to. But remember, 4 is your goal. So now let's just get the last spawn point. Let's just get them 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what it's been so far. Just boom, boom, boom. Okay, no. So This is that other spawn point. So we're just looking for the 4th spawn point now. So I could show you where to go for that one. It's the one by the lake. Aha, okay, so here we are by the lake. So for this one, you're gonna run across the lake, and then there's gonna be a spawn right outside of the lake here. It'll be the first one that you look for. Again, gray shit. We'll do a little bit of pause buffering through it. Oh. You see how much it slows you down. It's pretty taxing. So you'll grab that and then you'll instantly 180 and go on this little hill here. See this little hill, and you'll see in the background there's the monument. Gonna grab that one. And then we kind of check while we're going to the next spawn point over here what that middle thing is to see if we want to go there. Turns out we don't want to go there. It's the building. I'll show you why we don't want to go to the building, actually. I'll grab this page, and then I'll go into the building, and I'll show you exactly why we don't want to go into the building. Because you might think, hey, I know there's going to be a page in here, which it is. It's impossible for there not to be a page in the building. But. Here's the spawn points. So it could be right here. That'd be pretty nice, right? I mean, be very happy with it being there. So then it could be here, I think. But look it, Slender's literally like on top of me now, and I'm like kind of fucked up. And I can't really see. It's really kind of tough. Could be like in here, I think. And then it definitely could be right there, because that's where it is. And then it's also possible for it can't be in that room. Possible for it to be like, I think that might be it. See, I don't even know the spawn points in here, and you don't need to learn them either, because you don't ever want to go into this fucking building. Let's just don't. It just takes so much time. It fucks you up. Don't ever worry about the building. Just don't go. Just go to a different monument. It'll be faster. So that's all the spawn points for 8 pages, and that's how you get through 8 pages. So now we'll talk about Into the Abyss. For Into the Abyss, there's, I think, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Either 6 or 7 different spawn points possible into this level. And they don't really change anything. All they change is how long it takes you to get to the entrance, which can be a big time loss if you're going for like a really good time. Just to get a sub 18, you really don't have to worry about your spawn point here. You know, like, just continue no matter what, pretty much. It's going to lose you max 10, 15 seconds at the very, very worst. So don't worry about the different spawn points, really. I got like the worst one, but doesn't matter. So we're just gonna run towards the right side of the map here, towards the trees in the air here. You can spawn on the other side of where you're going, and then you'll be looking to go to the left side of the map. But either way, you're just trying to get to this thing in the distance there, that thing that's built into the wall. That's where you're going. I'm saying, like I said, I'm saying a lot of things that are very, very, very basic. You probably know them, but that's okay. So we're just going to get in here, and again, once your fast sprint stops, you're just going to walk for a while. How much you're going to walk depends a lot on your spawn point. So this is where you can get gray shit again. It's right around here. So right there, I lost my fast sprint, so now I'm going to be walking. And here you kind of just want to walk to get max stamina. So wherever you stop, you're just gonna walk for 36, 37 seconds. And then you're gonna have a max stamina bar again. So I actually don't have my timer up and shit, so I was not counting or don't know. But I'll try to show you about where you're gonna start sprinting again when you stop there. So we're gonna grab this generator. This is always the first one you get, and it'll open up these doors. And you're gonna head towards this door here. Now there's a couple different, let me just pause here for a second and say, there's a couple different paths you can take in this area, because your goal in this area is to get 5 more generators. The first one doesn't really count. You're getting 6, but that one doesn't count. So you're getting 5 more generators, and you're going to be looking over the course of the whole left side of the building. I would encourage you to not really fuck around with the right side of the building. that can end up losing you much, a lot of time. Many seconds. It can lose you probably a minute even. And in a run that's less than 20 minutes, that's obviously way too much. So you're really just going to want to fuck around with the left side of the building, which is 11 spawn points. So out of the 11 spawn points, you need 5 more generators. This kills a lot of runs, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of runs just die to this level. Luckily, it's only the 3rd level in the game. You're only about 6 minutes into your run, 6-7 minutes. Well, I mean, yeah, like 6-7 minutes, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes into the run. So less than halfway for sure. So it's not terrible. I would say you probably continue maybe a third of the runs out of here. And even less if you're going for a different strat where you only check 9 of the spawn points. Which is what I'm going to show you, is the checking of the 9 spawn points, and I would encourage you to just go and then check those 2 extra ones on your runs, because you can still continue if you then get enough generators in those last 2 spawn points. It's fine to continue. It doesn't lose you that much time, but when you're going for really quick times, then it can lose you more than what's acceptable. So sprint. Whoa, actually I don't want to be sprinting, so it doesn't matter. We'll go through the sprinting in a bit. Basically, in this level, you're just going to be sprinting until it runs out, and then waiting for the whole 35 seconds, and then sprinting again. So that's not 100% always true in this level, but it's for the most part true. So we'll just stick with that idea for now. So just trying to get full sprint. So this way you're going to check these spawn points is like this. So you'll get to this intersection as you came through that door, and you're going to turn left. You're going to be able to check 2 spawn points from right here. One is actually on the 2nd level that you're checking. You can see if there's going to be a generator on this first room upstairs. That's right above me. And the way you're going to see that is there's going to be a big red light all the way like across this hallway. Like, you'll really be able to tell. It'll just be like a big red light. It's going to be the first one you're going to be able to see, because like right here, the light is going to be shining through, and you'll be able to see the red up here. So if you don't see that red light shining through, you know for sure there's no generator in that top one, and I can see that there is none. Then you can also check across the way where that generator is right there. That spawn point you can see from here as well. So then you can see if there's a generator over there, and then you don't have to worry about checking it again if you know that there's not. So right there, so I can see I have 1 generator. Then you're not going to go to those right away. You're just going to keep those in your back pocket. Then you're going to walk up here, and you're going to check these rooms. So this room you actually are going to have to turn and check. You can't really see the light because of this like venting thing that's above here. So you are going to have to turn and check this one. So you see that one? Boom. Then we're going to keep walking downstairs, and you'll be able to see if you have one in this room just by seeing the top right here. So there's going to be light shining through from this room. It could be right here. So you'll be able to check it just from the light that's shining there. So you don't actually have to even look in there. And then in this room, you'll also be able to see from the light that kind of pours out of here. That one, I would say I check pretty often, just because sometimes it looks like there's light, but there's not light. Okay, so did you hear that sound? It was like the Charlie or whatever. He's going to start coming for you. Or maybe it's not Charlie. It's Rachel. The enemy in this level is going to start coming for you. You can actually use her to your advantage greatly in a way that I'll show you. You get a bunch of sprint from her. So that's a big way to save time in this level. Besides just the RNG. So, boom, no generator there. Then we're going to walk down this hallway. By this point, you might be sprinting. You might be walking. You'll most likely be sprinting, so I'm just going to sprint here. So then you're going to turn left, and you're going to be able to check. There's going to be a generator right there. You'll be able to check that one really quick. And then hard right here, you can check there, and there's one. This is kind of sour that I'm going to get good RNG here. And then you'll be able to check this right here. Oh, I didn't notice she was coming after me. I should have showed you the trick. She normally doesn't catch you until you're upstairs if you're sprinting the whole way and not like stopping the way I am. But you'll be able to check that spawn point. And then if you know that there was one over there, obviously you're going to then go get that generator. And then you're going to go upstairs. So we already know there's not going to be one in this first room, but there can be one in this second room down here. So you're going to go ahead and check that one. And there's not. So in my runs, this is where I reset. I don't have enough generators. There's really no reason to continue. It's just too much time loss. But in your runs, you can do this. Come on over here. Run past the stairs. And you're going to come over here and you're going to fall down right by these little steps here. And then you're going to come into this door. Wow, I got some really fast sprint for some reason. Why did I get really fast sprint there? So this is how you get fast sprint from her, though. When you right-click her face like that, she gives you some really fast sprint. I don't know why I said it like that. Some really fast sprint. So you want to use that to your advantage for sure. And then once you get your 6 generators there, that's where you check those. There could be one on either side of that little area where there was one. Then you're just going to come over here. And then what you're going to do when you get onto the elevator here is there's an extra little trick. There's an extra little trick where you're going to click it, and then you're going to have a second to run, and you're just going to run off of the elevator so that you start inside of here. It also looks pretty cool, but it just gives you a little bit of an extra boost when you come out of the elevator here. You're a little more forward. Just like that. And that's it. That's Into the Abyss. So like I said, those are all the spawn points you're really going to want to be checking. There are many other spawn points in the building, mostly to the right. Actually, all of them are to the right. And they're all really deep in the building, and you just don't want to fuck around with them, so don't worry about them. And that's Into the Abyss. So now we're gonna do Flashback, another really short level, but it has actually a semi-tough skip in it. So you're gonna first run, hug the wall here. And then you're gonna go right when you come out of here a little bit to the left, just slightly. You're just gonna aim in between these 3 trees and then just keep walking forward. So your goal is to get right about to like here. So then the maneuver you're gonna want to do, so you're you're facing straight forward. You're gonna have to do a 90-degree right turn, and then as fast as possible after that turn, you're gonna have to start pause buffering, because our goal is gonna be to get out of bounds again in this level. So right here, you're gonna make a 90-degree turn like this, and it's okay to stop, turn, and then go. In my runs, I'm obviously trying to, save every possible second. So I like come over here and I turn and I just start going right away. There's no stopping. So you can try that as well. It's just a little more inconsistent. So let's pretend that you stopped. Okay, so where you're gonna want to be aiming, it doesn't really matter. You can make micro adjustments in the air for where you're kind of going. But the general direction you're gonna want to be aiming is like right here, and you're gonna be trying to get over those rocks to the left. Not all the way to the left, just those far ones that are kind of down the hill. So you're going to start sprinting forward, and then you're going to do this pause buffer. So this one you're going to have to be pretty quick with. You're not going to want to be doing a whole lot of stopping. You can do some at the end if you have plenty of height, but your goal is just to get like right there. So now I'm out of bounds here, so I get over those rocks, got over the hump there. And that's it. That's really all you got to do to get out of bounds there. You just have to do some quick pause buffering. But then you're going to run down the rocks here, and your goal is just to die. So I kind of come on this right, and then I kind of... I didn't explain that very well. Let me do it again and explain it better, but that's what you're basically doing. And then you press retry, and it actually spawns you at the end of the level here. So this is the end of the level. It's just like a death warp skip. So then you just come into the building, and you grab the first VHS tape off the table and put it into the television, and then that'll load the next level. So obviously that's how you go about that. Let me redo that skip altogether and kind of show you what I mean by everything I was doing. So forward. I just fucked up my sprinting because I stopped sprinting. Might be bad. I'm going to walk just to make sure that that's not going to screw me up. In this game, if you sprint and then stop and then sprint again, you're not going to have as much sprint as you started with. It's going to like screw it up a little bit. We don't know the whole ins and outs of how exactly it screws it up, but basically you just want to not run into shit and you want to not stop sprinting once you've started sprinting. But here we go. And let's do it this way. So you come over here, you turn. So you're basically at the tallest part of the hill here. You don't need all of this height. You could probably start like here. It's just a lot easier to give yourself as much height as possible. So here, and then you just pause buffer. Really quick ones. And then you're just gonna, what I like to do there is kind of just keep tapping A while I'm pause buffering. And that just slowly moves me in the air closer to the barrier so that I know when I've cleared it. And I clear it right here. Then you just walk down. So then once you get to the end here, basically you're going to run off the edge while holding A and like facing towards the left. And what that's going to do is it's going to like push you off of the edge without you having to pause buffer out. Because one way to do this is to run and then pause buffer. And then you're falling. And then you just need to fall a certain amount. So that kills you. If you don't fall enough, it'll just put you there and not actually kill you. So you need to fall a certain amount of distance before you then hold to the right and hit the hill and die. So the amount you have to fall is kind of just a feel thing. But don't worry about it too much. I mean, the most it's going to save you is like a second of falling. So it's not the biggest deal in the world. So that's kind of how you do it. You can play around with it a little bit. It's a tough one to get really fast, and you can get it really, really, really fast if you do it like really perfectly. So then Homestead. This is one of the jankiest levels in the game for sure. It's got one of the hardest skips, but it's not too hard. So we'll show you how to do it. Obviously, the way you start this level, you just start it as you would be doing in a playthrough. You run here. And you're gonna hit this pulley up here as fast as you can. So I like to like grab it, hit it, and then just like fall down. Obviously your goal is just to get out of there as fast as you can. For stuff like that, you can just go and watch any gameplay video as well. They'll do all of those things the same way. So if you just need a way to just like get through the level and you are kind of need to watch it more, then you can definitely just watch any gameplay of it. And then we're going to walk forward here, obviously, and get to the gas can. So there's two different spots that the gas can spawn in down here in this little cellar area. You're going to stop sprinting once it gives you the slow sprint right about here. Yep, right there. So then you're just going to walk. I like to kind of fall here, so I kind of just keep walking forward and let it kind of fall. And then you click that thing. I like to look down. And then see if the gas can is in this. So the first room, so sometimes it's going to go dark like that and make it hard to kind of know where you're at. But the gas can either spawn right there or right there. So those are just the two different spots where it can spawn. So you just grab that and then you just come back up, right back to the way you came. And then normally I start sprinting again. There I kind of fucked around, so it's not going to be the right spot. But I start sprinting again right around like here. And then you're going to sprint all the way to the next part of the level where you're going to be doing a skip. So obviously you're just going to run over here and you're going to run and turn on the generator. Boom, boom, boom. And then you run through this middle area, kind of a back and forth thing. And then right out of this door, right to the right, and then you're going to hug this fence, because this is where the skip is going to be. So the spot that you're looking for the skip to start is this little tuft of grass that's kind of out in the open here. So this little spot right here. So if you kind of rub up against it, you can kind of feel that there's like some little like weird spot there. So this is another ladder, but it's a much more finicky ladder than the prologue ladder. So what I recommend, and it's definitely not required, there's a lot of different ways to do this ladder, But what I think the easiest way, and the way that I still do it in my runs, is by crouching. So you crouch with your control key. It's a hold down crouch, and it takes a while for it to crouch all the way. But so you're gonna run to the right of this tuft of grass and just kind of put yourself as far into this little corner as you can. So you can see I can't really. That's where the little ladder is right there. So you can kind of see what we're working with there. But you're just gonna come right next to this post as close as you can get to it, and then you're gonna hold control. So now you're gonna be in a crouch position. So your movements are gonna be like really like slow and weird. So you're kind of limping almost. You can see. So yeah, get into there and then crouch. So this is going to allow you to do micro adjustments without going so far that you're going to fall off the ladder, because the ladder is really small. So then it's going to be the same kind of motion. You're going to be going A and W, but you're going to have to do it in a much more careful way. So you're going to feel A until you start moving up. So there I can see that I've gained some vertical height there. But now look at that, right back down. So that's all you have to work with there, is that little bit of vertical height. And you have to kind of ride that edge. So little bit of vertical, you see it? Okay, so little vertical height, and then push back with W. And then a little vertical height, W. A, W. A, W, W, W. A. I kind of tap and hold. And you're just going to keep moving up this ladder. Slow and steady wins the race, okay? Until you're about right here. This is about how high you need to be. Again, it's a little bit arbitrary. There's not really a lot of visual cues to go on. But this is about as high as you want to go. Then you're going to unhold a crouch. And then you're just going to walk on top of this ladder. You're going to be kind of floating in the air when you walk. But you're going to be walking. And you're just going to get onto the fence. So there. So that's actually a bit higher than you even need to go. But that's where you're trying to get to, is that part of the fence over there. So a little A, W, A, W, A, W, A, W. Just back and forth, back and forth. Until about, I'd say here even is probably good. And you just need to get onto the fence, just like that. And now once you're on the fence, you're golden. So that's the whole skip. It's a little finicky, takes some practice. And doing it fast is fucked. So like here, I'll try to do it fast like I would in a run, okay? So like, here I am, I'm coming up to it. Get into that corner, crouch, and then I go A, W. And there. And then there's one extra little piece here. So these two fences don't meet perfectly flush, as you can see. But that's where you're going to need to get, is onto this fence to clear this area. So to get onto that fence, you just kind of have to move up the side of it. And you can see it kind of puts you on top of it. You can't come at it from the front. You have to come at it from the side. And if you're going to fall into here, or even fall into there. Do not fall into this side. If you fall onto that side, you have to go all the way back around. So don't go for that. If you feel like you're going to fall, definitely cheat more towards those sides. So then you're just going to walk this fence. With your sprinting, typically the way it's going to work out is you're going to want to start sprinting again a little bit past this intersection, because you're going to be going left on this fence. Boom. So now you're in the area you want to be in, but you have to get to that door. So I just like to keep riding the fence, and I would have already been sprinting by now. Boom, and you just have to get close to the door. You'll hear it slam, and then you know your cue is good. That's the only cue that you need for the end of the level. It's the only thing. You might need the generator as well. We really don't know, but you have to get that anyway. So, and into the house. I like to you sprint the whole way. Through and through. I like to go here and then hold to the right. Move through it quick. So you can kind of see, you can make that moving pretty fast. And then right when you get to the end here, I like to just turn my camera to the right or to the left, because it's going to do that for you anyway. So I think it's a little faster if you have your camera facing to the left, because then you drop a little faster. I'm actually not 100% sure if that is faster, but it's not slower. It's just what I do. And then that's the whole level. So it might not seem like it's too tough, and it's not that tough, but that skip is definitely a little finicky. And then escape. Escape is a really stupid level, because it's all RNG. Just a big fat RNG fest at the end of the game. But for you don't really have to worry about it, because the most it's gonna ever lose you is like 30 seconds at the worst. So your goal here is just to close all the windows. I'll just kind of run through it how I would normally, and just kind of, you can see what windows I'm checking. Windows and doors. So first the front door, then I go back to the right here, and I come over to here. Check that window, check those two. Into this room, check those two, check those two. Over here, close that door, check those two. Over here, close this one. Back through, so just going across the whole bottom. And then, boom, upstairs. Hopefully he's already told you to hide by now. He has not, so I have to just keep closing windows. Boom, that's another one. Check that one, because it can fuck you. Once she says, I need to hide, you just run back to the room. Just instantly. And then once you get here, floom, turn around. Oh, whoops, I fucked it up. You want to turn around there so that he throws you into the window faster. Because normally, like, you do this animation where you look at him. You just want to be facing him right away so that he just tosses you back. And that's the whole level. It's really, there's not much to it. It's just, you close all those windows in that order. You check all of them. Different ones are going to be open. You just close the right ones that are open. And then you're on basically the last level. There's kind of a little level at the very, very end of the game, but this is basically the last level of the game. And there's a lot of different ways to do this level. A lot of different ways. I'm going to show you what I think is probably the easiest way first. Here's the easiest way. You come up here, out of the one, and you do this skip. It's another pause buffering skip. You just get up to this little tree right here, and you just face off the edge of the map here. You run and you pause buffer, and you're just gonna sail across all these trees. And you're gonna hold right, and once you get into those trees, you know you've cleared the barrier. And then you're just gonna pause buffer a couple extra times, and then just fall. I fucked it up there. You need to fall a lot further on this level. We'll see if I can fall far enough to die. No. If this happens to you, it might happen to you. You see her out of the bounds? What you want to do is you want to fall like all the way up to like right here. Just fall and hit the ground from a really high distance. I'm going to restart this level just to show you what that's like. If that happens to you though, just run off the edge. You'll die all the same. It'll just take a little longer. But yeah, let me show you this again. So you just run right up to that pine tree. You don't even really have to go that high. You can kind of just come like right here. And then you just run, you pause buffer. And I would say once you get to about like you've cleared those trees and like here, this should be plenty far enough. So there, you hit the ground, kills you as fast as it can, and then when you retry, you're much further into the level. So we're all the way in the part where you have to run up the hill. So now the goal, easy. You come out of here, you're going to get fast sprints, so make sure you don't start sprinting until here, and then you're just going to run up the right side here. So just hit the right, and then once you get to this rock, just get to the right side of that rock, and then just run. Just forward, forward, forward. All the way through. Right towards the radio tower, through the fire, doesn't matter. If you see Slender, that's not a great thing. You kind of have to dodge him. But he's going to miss you plenty of times on this path. But just keep going. Once you see this rock, you know you're home free. Left side of this rock, up, 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 into this building. Done. No problem. Then once you get in here, you have to look for the key. The first spawn is going to be right here. You'll be able to see it even before the door slams. But you're just going to look for the key. So that's your first spawn point to look for. Next is right into this room. To the right, boom, and boom. So that's where it actually is, so I'll grab it. But those are 2 spawn points. The last 2 places that key can be is boom, right there, and on the floor right there. You open up this door, and then you run. And then you just pray that Charlie does not touch you and kill you. So you just run through here. There's nothing to do about it. You just hope he doesn't kill you. Oh, so there, but he probably won't kill me. See, if you get hit, doesn't mean you're dead. And then you just run and you hit the camcorder. Boom. And the level's over. And you just have to wait out this camcorder. Now, this is a slow way to do the level. A quite slow way. There's a much faster way, I think probably a good 30, 40-second faster way that is much harder. I will show you that now, after this cutscene is done. But it is definitely harder. But it's definitely faster. So, you can pick which one you want to do. I'd say if you're just starting out, definitely do this way. Because you can get a really good time just by doing it this way. And it's a much easier. But once you want to try to do harder stuff, definitely go for it. Definitely go for it. And he kills you. And now this isn't the end of the game yet. You're going to have one more little scene at the end here. So, right when you start, you're going to turn to the right. You're going to go like this. Okay, so you turn to the right and then tap D until you see this little like doorway there. You're right in the middle of it. Boom, one click. So there's a page right here. It's right on this wall, but you can grab it from all the way back here. So that's your goal, is just to grab it from as far away from as possible. Just grab that page, and then there's another page in here you gotta grab. You can grab it right through the wall. Boom. And then up the stairs. Through and through, and then the level ends. Hit that person. Timer has not stopped yet. Timer's still going. Still going. And the time is going to end right when the screen goes dark here. Right there. Timer's done. And then that's your run. That's the whole run. So let's go and show you the other way to do this level, the harder way, but the cooler way, the faster way. Turn around and you're gonna run up the hill. So you're not gonna go over to and do that skip. You're just gonna come over here. All the way up. And it is another pause buffering skip. And then there's a couple other things. I'll show you the whole deal. So you come over here. You have to clear this little hill, and then you can go over it. Then you got to get up to the highest part of this little hill that you can manage. It's not very high. It's actually kind of really low. But this is where you're gonna go. And what you're looking for, you see that little rock that looks like a bird, like an eagle's beak and eyes? That's what I always look at. It's right in the middle there. You can't really see it super well on my rendering on the video, but it's right over that tree. I wish I had like a cursor I could show you. It's like right in that area. So you can kind of see him right there, That's kind of what you're aiming for eventually, but you're kind of go to the left of that a bit. So you can see like I'm like right here-ish. And then you're going to start pause buffering up off here. Here you just go. You're just full on. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're just going. And then you're going to try to clear that. I cleared it. It's a really high barrier, and it's a tough one to clear. But that's what you're going to clear, and you're going to come over the hill here. So that's the first part of the skip. Second part is to get fast sprint. So fast sprint you're going to acquire right there. So then you start sprinting again. So you like take your finger off the sprint key and sprint again so you get your fast sprint. Then you're going to come up the hill here. You're going to start to the right, push as hard as you can to the left, and then back to the right. Boom, and then you're going to go off the edge of the map here. So you're just going to run right off the edge of the map and then turn around, and then you're going to pause buffer yourself back in and land on this little ledge right here. Then you're going to crouch. You're going to get to the right side here. You're going to click as you're crouching and pushing. And that's that camcorder. That's that camcorder you just turned on, okay? So now, you're going to run. This part you have to do fast because the game will crash if you don't do it fast enough. You're going to come off the edge here. You're going to fall, and you're going to land on the barrier of the building. You're going to run on the barrier, then you're going to drop into the building. And now you're looking for that key again. So you check all the spawn points. You check the key. You boom. Grab the key, and then you open the door. Now the game won't crash. You're good. You finish out the level. Don't get killed by Charlie. Charlie kills you just the same. And then you get to the end part, and it's all the same. But you just saved a lot of time. So there, that's the whole walkthrough guide. It does look a little different at the end here. Nothing's different. It just looks a little weird. Because you kind of broke the game a little bit. But it'll end just the same. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned how to get a good time. This is most of the strats. So yeah. Thanks for watching.